Today I'm going to talk to you about Chapter 41 in our book, White Collar Criminality. Edwin Sutherland gave his speech on white collar crime in 1939. This essay was then published in 1940, and he became known as the father of white collar crime. He breaks these crimes down into three categories. First, he explains his theory behind white collar crime and then goes into detail about what different actions need to take place for it to be considered one of these crimes. Second, he states that white collar crimes do more harm to society than a regular crime can do. Third, he challenges the accuracy of other theorists that say crime can only be committed by people in a lower class, because people that are generally white-collar criminals own corporations and businesses, which puts them at a higher standard of living than most. Sutherland also breaks down white-collar crimes in different categories, one of these categories being business. Some of the major white-collar crimes in the business category are insurance fraud, bankruptcy fraud, corporate fraud, financial fraud, healthcare fraud, hedge fund fraud, mortgage fraud, mass marketing fraud, and money laundering. Now, this isn't all of them, but these are just the major ones and what you'll see most often. The next field that he breaks them down into is the medical field. Crimes in this field include drug and alcohol sales, which is a doctor who'll prescribe you a prescription that you don't need just because you asked for it. Abortions, a wide range of services, that can be considered illegal. False reports on patients involved in accidents, which the patient can then obtain more money from their insurance company. Giving treatment that isn't needed. This is when a doctor will tell you that you need a certain type of surgery or you may need a certain type of medicine just so he can obtain more money. And fee splitting. This is when a doctor will send you to a specific surgeon that can help him make more money instead of what's best for you. The cost of white-collar crimes is considered to be extremely expensive. For example, one manager in a chain grocery store was able to steal $600,000, which is the equivalent of 6 times more than the annual loss of 500 burglaries and robberies from the stores in the same chain. So right there you can see how quickly you can obtain a lot of money from committing these white-collar crimes. The prevention of white-collar crimes, Sutherland says there's 4 ways to stop these crimes. First, you have to get other agencies involved, and the courts can't do this alone. You have, such as the Federal Trade Commission, they deal with this stuff all the time, and they're used to it. So they would have good insight on different ways to prevent this from happening. The second way is individuals that commit these crimes should be treated as a criminal. If you break the law, you should face criminal charges just like a regular criminal would. They should not be able to be sent to civil court, even though most of the time it is just because they are committing a crime against another individual. But this is more serious than that. Third is that the court needs to take into account these individuals committing these crimes have a big influence on people on the outside world. They are able to pay people to come in and speak in their favor, which can't be allowed. When we see this in cases involving the mob, some people have good evidence, but they're just too afraid to come forward with this. So we have to be able to make sure people know it's okay to come forward with this information. The fourth thing deals with individuals that are considered to be accessories to these crimes, which should be treated just as harshly. Just like, for example, when you watch somebody commit murder, if you do nothing about it, even though you didn't pull the trigger yourself, you still get in charge for the crime as well. So in conclusion, although a white-collar crime may not be related to a normal type of crime that we are used to dealing with, such as rape, murder, and robberies, the damage they cause is still real. White-collar criminals are different than low-class criminals because they have different reasons for committing their crimes. A low-class criminal will commit a crime to feed their families and to make a little extra money, whereas a white-collar criminal has these things set up for them already. They don't need to be taking money from people that are less fortunate because they have everything they need. Finally, also, they are still trying to find a theory that can explain both white-collar and low-class criminals. As of right now, there's nothing that can explain the behavior of both of these combined as one, but hopefully sometime in the near future, they'll have something that they can publish for us to look at. I want to thank you for taking this time to watch my video on white collar criminality. Thank you.